Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. I'm very happy today because because I can be here and I can meet you here. Wait, because I wanna do this. Yes. Before I talk about my personal life, because this is the last presentation, so not very serious. So I wanna all of us, not only me, we read Quran together. If you have Quran, if you have your Quran in your cell phone, you can open. I want all of us we read together Surah Al-Mu'minun, ayah 1 until 11. So this is very important because I want to talk to you today about the characteristic of a successful person. And in this ayah, in this surah, we talk about the ayah talk about the successful person. You know, in the Quran or maybe your phone, we will read together. Ready?
Okay.
Surah Al-Mu'minun, ayah 1 until 11. Surah Al-Mu'minun, in page 342.
Ayat 1 surah nomor 23. Surah nomor 23 ayat 1.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. صدق الله العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We are together for I will read the translation in English about what I am going to read. So, this title is characteristic of a successful person. Successful in it are the believers, those who humble themselves in prayer, those who avoid idle talk, those who pay alms tax, those who guard their chastity, accept with their lives or lost one woman in their possessions, for that they are free from blame. But whoever sticks beyond that are the transgressors. The believers are also those who are true to their trust and confidence, and those who are properly observant of their prayers. These are the ones who will be rewarded paradise as their own. They will be there forever. So, alhamdulillah, today let me tell you about my personal life, because today we're going to talk about the Muslim woman in our society. Actually, my life is not really a good story, but let's see. I hope you can get benefit from my story. So let's start. The first slide, you can see this is my childhood. Oh yeah, before I talk about my life, so I want to tell you about my country, a little bit about my country. You know Indonesia?
No.
Some of you are Indonesia. Indonesia is the country with the largest Muslim population in the world. Nearly 87% of the Indonesian total population is Muslim. So our population is around 270 million people. And we are here, me and my friend, Ibu Neneng, Dokter Kembar here. We are here as a participant of the program called English for Ulama. So English for Ulama actually is one of the program in West Java and to introducing the international community to the representation of Muslims from Indonesia. So this program actually not only from West Java province, but collaborate with Minhaj and also with this council. So this is my childhood. So you can see this is my pictures. So I want to tell you that I'm the oldest child of my family. So I have 2 younger sisters. And our father educated and raised us very strictly. Next slide. This is still my photo. Next slide. So, what is this? Okay. I want to tell you that there is advice from my father. Maybe before, yes, this is my father. So my father has 3 daughters. So my father always said the words that I always remember until now. My father said, in Islam, when a woman is not married, she is supported and looked after by her father. When she is married, she is supported and looked for and looked after by her husband. But life doesn't always go ideally. It could be that one day your father or husband dies, gets sick, or is no longer able to look after you. Then you must be able to stand on your own feet. And my father said, be a smart and empowered woman. So that years until now, I still remember, my younger sisters still remember. So we try to be a smart and empowered woman, inshallah. So let me tell you, since childhood, if we wanted something, for example, my father didn't give us what we wanted. So since we were little, we thought about how we could get money to buy what we wanted. For example, I like writing. So I sell my writings, for example, and I rent all my books to the other people, and I take part in various competitions at school to earn money. And I make bracelets or necklaces to sell, I teach, and so on to get money. This is my father give money to his daughters. So when I was 12 years old, I routinely wrote a diary every day. I wrote down all the dreams and all targets in my life. And one by one, dreams were achieved, alhamdulillah, until I decided that when I was 16 years old, I had to move to the capital city to develop myself. Because that time I really wanted to be an actress. So let's see the other slide. No. Next slide. Okay. So before I talk about this, there is words from Imam Shafi'i that I remember, that I want to share to you. Imam Shafi'i said, there is no rest in residence for a person of culture and intellect. So travel and live where you are residing. Travel, you will find a replacement for what you have left. And strive. The sweetness of life is in striving. I've seen what water stagnates. It still becomes pure if it runs, but not if it doesn't flow. So based on these words, so I decided myself to move to capital city in Indonesia, of course. The capital city is Jakarta. When I was 16 years old by myself. This is the words from Imam Shafi'i. Next returned to my hometown after becoming a successful person. I remember the words from Dokter, you know that? Means that anyone who does things seriously will succeed, inshallah. So I moved to Jakarta when I was 16 years old. So let's see the illness of my mother. Yes. You know what is this? So finally, alhamdulillah, I moved to Jakarta and Disampaikan. I tried hundreds of auditions actually to play a role in a film that I always felt. I told you I wasn't going to be an actress that time actually. When I was busy starting a life in the capital, so I received news that my mother was seriously ill. So my mother had to be hospitalized in Jakarta, and I was shocked because my mother's condition was very, very bad. So this is not the picture of my mom actually, because at the time I did a picture of my mother, but this picture I got from Google, but yeah, something like this. So, this illness, her entire skin was blistered from head to toe. Can you imagine that? And this disease is an autoimmune disease called pemphigus. And this disease is very, very terrible. You can imagine if my mother took off her clothes, so her skin would come off too. Yeah. So that time we didn't have any money, so my mother could not be treated with the best treatment because of the family financial condition at the time. And like all the patients were very afraid to my mother, and they didn't want to be close to my mother. And my mother was bandaged, or like a mummy, like a mummy from head to toe. And every morning and evening, the bandage were removed and replaced. So every time she screamed in pain because the skin on her body came off. So let's see the next slide. So in the condition, I remember this eye. This is the eye that made me very, very strong, alhamdulillah. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, 155, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين. We will certainly test you by afflicting you with fear, hunger, loss of properties, and leaves and fruits. Give glad tidings then to those who remain patient. And the next ayah, الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Those who when an affliction smites them, then they say, verily, we belong to Allah, and it is to Him that we are destined to return. And the other ayah that made me very strong at times is because I take care of my mom and myself. My mother went to Jakarta, and I took care of my mother by myself in Jakarta. All my family, my father and older sister, all in the village at the time. This ayah is very, very helpful. Surah Al-Anbiya 35. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون. Allah said, every soul will taste death, and we test you with good and evil as a trial, then to us you will all be returned. So I also remember the story of Ayub alayhi salam. He suffered from his skin disease. Everyone left him, and all his children died. All his wealth was gone. But Prophet Ayub alayhi salam never got angry or complained to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? The Prophet Ayub alayhi salam knew that all the tasks that Allah gave him were because Allah loved him. So let's see what Prophet Ayub alayhi salam said in Surah Al-Anbiya 83. أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. Prophet Ayub alayhi salam said, I have been touched with adversity, Ya Allah, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. So this is very beautiful words from Prophet Ayub alayhi salam, right? Sometimes if we get cast from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes we get mad to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes we complain, and sometimes we say, why you choose me to get all this? But Prophet Ayub alayhi salam teach me at the time, never complain. But Prophet Ayub alayhi salam said that you are the most merciful of the merciful. And then the next ayah in Surah Al-Anbiya 84, you can see and can read in that ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we answered his prayer and removed his adversity and gave him back his family twice as many as a mercy from us and a lesson for the devoted worshippers. So when I was very sad that time to see the mama condition like that, so I just remember all this ayah. I know from all this ayah, the sadness will not last forever. There is always a rainbow after the rainstorm. Okay, this is the word I love very much. Diamond doesn't start out polished and shiny. It once was nothing special, but with enough pressure and time, it becomes spectacular. I'm with diamond, so I make myself and be very strong like that. Okay, so I started wearing the hijab at the time when I was 16 years old in the hospital, and I forgot about all my dream of becoming an actress. I focused on taking care of my mother in the hospital. And when I had only worn the hijab for a day, when I was still in the hospital with my mother, someone called me and said I had managed to get a role in a film. Actually, I joined in many auditions actually, but always fell. But when I was in hospital, so there was someone called me and said, yes, you are succeeding. Alhamdulillah, you got the role. You get the role in the film. And then I said, I'm very hijab now. And you know what he said? He said, I still remember until now. He said, is not this your dream for a long time? Why you refuse? Don't you directly need money for your mother's medical expenses? With the hijab, you can't be anything. He said like that. So, again and again, I remember the ayah, Surah Al-Ahzab 59. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن ذلك أدنى أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers to bring down themselves part of their outer garments. That is more suitable that they will be known and not be abused. And ever is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiving and merciful. So I decided to put hijab because I remember this ayah. Then 2 years after my mother became ill, I studied at the university and was very busy teaching the Quran to the poor people around campus or the university. I forgot all my dream of becoming an actress, and suddenly there was a narration for a film adapted from a novel. I read this novel actually while carrying my mother in hospital, and this novel actually is what made me strong to stay close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the time. So I took the audition to say thank you to the author actually. So unexpectedly, out of 7,000 people who auditioned, they chose me as a main role. So, look at this. Run after Islam and dunya will run after you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever is concerned about the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place richness in his heart, bring his affairs together, and the world will inevitably come to him. Whoever is concerned about the world, Allah will place poverty between his eyes, disorder his affairs, and he will get nothing of the world but what is decreed for him. So, alhamdulillah. So I started my career. You can see the picture. Yes. I started my career in 2008. Finally. Even though Indonesia, this is Islamic movie. So I just played a role for Islamic movie. So people call me Islamic actress. So there is no couch with the hijab. This Islamic movie. You know, even though Indonesia is a country where majority of the population is Muslim actually, at the time wearing the hijab in the entertainment world was still very strange. I mean, for the film, okay, but outside film, why do you still use or wear this hijab like this? So once they asked me to wear tight clothes, and I refused, although it's still with hijab, but I refused with the tight clothes like that. And some people don't like me because they think I'm a stubborn new actress. You know? But I don't want to wear that. I don't want to wear that like that. But I believe in consistency and still behaving politely, gradually they respect my choice. And it was proven, alhamdulillah. For now, they already know what type of word they can give to me, alhamdulillah. And to be honest, I put forward 3 conditions before I act in Qiyam. The first is I wear loose clothes and hijab, of course, not tight clothes. And the second, I don't come into contact with men, actually, there's no touch. And the third, I wear it after finishing university classes. Because I'm really concerned about my study in university. So, let's see that is life. Alhamdulillah, remember, the men say that with the hijab you can't be anything, and with the hijab I can be someone and can hold this trophy. So, the very actress in Indonesia with the word 2010, alhamdulillah. Then next, I start to be a writer, I wrote a lot of books. Next, and I have several businesses, education and beauty sectors. You know, I remember the story of a friend I want to tell you. She told me that she was very pampered by her husband. She lived with a lot of wealth and was very restful. Then suddenly her husband died and left behind her small children. And she doesn't know how to continue life. This is the story of my friend. Because she can't work, doesn't have any skills, and doesn't have any savings. This is where I realized this is very important for women to have skills so that if something happens in your life, you can still continue living. I choose to trade on this from the profits that I get from all this business. I can help to the da'wah of Islam. Next slide. Okay, so this is my study. I completed my doctorate at 2 campuses, at 2 universities. Majoring in Da'wah and Islamic education. I finished my studies while pregnant. You can see the baby. Okay. So getting married and having children is not a barrier to continuing to study. Okay. Let's see the Rasulullah words. If anyone travels on a road in search of knowledge, Allah will cause him to travel on one of the roads of paradise. The angels will lower their wings in their great pleasure with one who seeks knowledge. The inhabitants of the heavens and the earth and the fish will give water will ask forgiveness for the learned man. So this is a habit that made me wanna keep learning, studying like that. Next slide. You can see here, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, so you educate a nation. So be a smart woman, inshallah. Next. Then I started to be a preacher. So this is my activity actually, my daily activities. So sometimes I will do da'wah for masjid in early. In the morning, after Dhuhr, after Asr, like Isha. But this 2 days per week because my children say, no, just 2 days. After that, we have to go back home like this because I have 4 children actually. Yes. So this is what I want to tell you. This is my devotion to my religion. You can read this in Surah Muhammad 7, all believers, all Muslims. If you stand up for Allah, He will help you and make your steps firm. You know, I want to tell you about this all this foundation that I founded in 2016. I will, you can see the video, maybe someone can open the video, the program of and I will keep talking, and you can 2016. You can see, I will tell you what story of this madrasa. Okay. Someone asked me, why are you busy yourself with this type of school when you already have everything? And I said, because I need the blessings of the Quran. Okay, still wait, but I will tell you how to start with this madrasa. Okay, this is my madrasa. That's now already 16 branches from Indonesia and also in Egypt. Alhamdulillah. So, I realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may be known to many people. When I say something, people want to listen. In Indonesia, Allah gives me the ability to move people also. Then I thought I should do something bigger and more impactful. So finally, I founded this foundation, which is the best children, the best teenagers, actually, not children, the best children throughout Indonesia. They memorize 13 juz, ajza of the Quran. They were Arabic and they were Islamic education. After that, some of them continue their education in the university on the scholarship, and we send others to all cities and villages to teach Quran again and again. So we will see a little bit about this madrasa. So actually this madrasa is for free because this madrasa is especially for yatim, for du'afa, but for poor people, but of course we have to just invest more because we not only give the scholarship for them for memorizing Quran, but also until the university. And we send them after they finish memorizing Quran to be a Quran teacher for any teacher in Indonesia or the other country. Like in this year, for example, we send our students to go to Japan, to go to Jordan, to be a teacher for any teacher there. So this is some of the branches. There are some 16 branches. So this is what I'm doing now actually. I'm very busy with this madrasa. Maybe you can make it faster so you can see the activity. So don't forget that you go to Indonesia, come to madrasa. This 30 minutes from the airport. Third here. So this is the graduation actually. So we not only this is the class, so the most of this. Actually, 80% are women, because I'm a woman, and 20% they are men. So yeah, okay. You can see this, and I will tell you what the other story. So when, I think maybe 5 years or 6 years ago, I asked my father, yeah, Baba, who is a successful person actually? Am I a successful person? Your the other brother is a successful person because my second sister is a doctor, and the third sister, the youngest sister, is a YouTuber. You know, she has maybe 30 million subscribers, very many subscribers. So I asked my father, who is the successful person actually? You know what my father said? My father answered, you know, success is the first when you become a useful person. So I remember Allah said, "Kindness and kindness." So the best people are kind, benefit others. And the second, my father said, beautiful closure. It means husnul khatimah. You know, like we pass away in a good condition. You know, Allah makes the end of our lives good or bad according to our habits. And we often see the people that they pass away when they sujood, right? Because every day, every time we go to masjid, we sujood. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them pass away when they sujood. And the third, my father said, if you want to be a successful person, the indicator, one of them is go to Jannah. So it's only 3 the characteristic of the successful person. The first is you become a useful person in this dunya, this world. The second, husnul khatimah, and the third is Jannah. So it means that you are a successful person. So, yeah, my dream. Actually, this is my last presentation because after this, I wanted you to see in the video. If is it okay? I want to land maybe with ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية وادخلي في عبادي
وادخلي جنتي.
This is my prayer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Oh peaceful and fully satisfied soul, return to your Lord. You are well pleased with your good end and well pleasing in the sight of your Lord. Join my righteous servants and enter my praise." So this is our worship. So I hope that what I say is very useful to you, inshallah. And may Allah make our path to Jannah easy. And this is the